Well, a very good evening to you and welcome to Gameon. I'm your host, Mahreen Chenya Saluji. I'm really excited about today's show because there's certainly a lot to be discussed in the world of sport today, specifically the CAF elections. Is it a new era for African football? Well, we certainly hope so. As usual, you can interact with us on the show. You can do that on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @Mahreen_Chenya or the channel @ANN7TV. Let's have a look at your top stories. Well, we're very, very excited to be here at Loftus Versfeld ahead of their match against the Sunwolves with one of the most noticeable players in the squad recently. His name is Lizo Qoboka. Thank you very much for being with us here on the show. It's great to have you here. Lizo, what an amazing journey you've had so far in your rugby career. I guess the perfect place to start is from the beginning. How did you get into the sport?
Yes. Yeah, thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm from Mount Frey. It's a small town between Tata and Kokstad in the Eastern Cape. Yes, so I grew up there. I played soccer all my life. Hard to believe because of the weight, but I grew up playing soccer and did a lot of athletics, 100 meters, 150 relays.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that. Yes, and high school there was no rugby at all as well. And I went to Durban after matric. I passed my matric, so I went to Durban to study. And then when I was doing my second year, and I used to see this guy in the neighborhood that had always had the rugby ball in his car. So I asked him if I can join him one day. He said, "Yeah, bro, yeah, you're big enough, so yes, you can join me." So that was Queensborough Club, 2009.
We didn't get a chance to obviously speak to you when you were elected as president. So firstly, congratulations. And just you had tears in your eyes, you were crying. It was a very special moment. Did you at some point think that maybe it won't happen?
No, it's emotion. Even you expect for that. You know, I never have in my life this kind of stress. So, I mean, it's normal.
Absolutely. One of, I presume, the big tasks that you will have is keeping unity on the continent. So obviously, under Issa Hayatu's rule, COSAFA often felt that they weren't given the due that they should have. But it will be the same for the other regions, of course. How important is it to keep the unity, and how will you do that?
Yeah, as you know, the election is finished. In democracy, everybody has his position, his opinion, but now plus for work. And I believe and I trust that a president of federation, if they are in other side during the election, they need to develop their football. Now it's finished that. We go together. And I call them to discuss and to start a new history, a new challenge for African football.
What would you say is the biggest challenge facing African football?
The biggest challenge is, first of all, like I told in my manifesto, put the administration on the standard of the management now. Make a good governance, financial transparency, and respect all the process. And when we have the resource to give back to all the federation, because CAF don't need to be rich, but need money to develop the football, to help the youth in our continent.
Just lastly, as I said, COSAFA obviously felt that maybe they weren't given the due that they were. How are we going to help COSAFA develop at a faster pace than it was, and obviously under your leadership?
You know, I'm a president of African Football Federation now, but I never forget I'm from COSAFA. That's why I come here.
Well, we have been following the stories of both Alex Ramala and Dingaan Tobela Jr., who have been taking on a different sporting coats to what their fathers are best known as. Of course, world champion Dingaan Tobela, his son is now playing football, and Olympian Hendrik Ramala, his son is swimming. They join us in studio, and of course, from Cape Town is Dingaan Tobela Jr. on the line. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. It's a great pleasure to have you here. I think this is such a wonderful discussion to be had, because there's often stories of athletes that follow in their parents' footsteps. So let's start with you, Dingaan. The idea of having your son playing football, was that a strange one at the beginning?
Well, it was a strange one, but I mean, with time, you know, because you have to let a kid to identify his goal, you know. So he's going to start searching, you know, start at school and, of course, play football, do everything, you know, running and all that. So until he identify his true potential, you know, he wouldn't really follow directly what I'm doing as a boxer, as a fighter. I'm glad that he's also in sport because he's now enjoying football.
Absolutely. Hendrik, for you, your son is now a swimmer, a different kind of distance he's doing. Tell us about how his journey into the sport.
Yeah, like Dingan says, you know, we allow the kids to find themselves, to make a choice. My father allowed me to make a choice. He played football, soccer, and then I tried it. I didn't go far. I moved into athletics by chance. My son Alex ran, he did all this sport at school, and then now he found his passion, which is swimming. So I'm very glad for him. He's not going to be feeling the pressure of people saying, you versus your dad, you know. So he's fine, no pressure for him.
Well, Alex, that was going to be my next question is, you didn't feel the pressure that you needed to be a marathoner or maybe an athlete on the track?
No, not at all. But before, when I was younger, I wanted to be a runner. But like, the pressure started building on when people were like always comparing with my dad. But then when I started moving on to other sports such as swimming, I started feeling more relaxed, enjoyed it, had more friends, and because with my dad's group of athletes, they were much older, so I enjoyed more of the swimming, and I had more opportunities, such as with my dad. He didn't have as many opportunities, so like I would like to take the opportunity to explore more sports, such as swimming.
Well, that's fantastic. Now on the line via Cape Town, we have Dinga Ntobela Jr., who is currently playing for Cape Town All-Stars. Thank you very much for joining us here on the line. Dad, you can say hello to your son.
Hello, Junior.
Dinga Ntobela Jr. that is on the line. If you can hear us, we obviously, if you've been listening to the discussion so far, did you not feel any pressure at the beginning to live up to the standard, the great standard of your dad and become a boxer?
Yeah, at the beginning I did, because obviously living in a household with someone as successful as my dad, you feel a bit of pressure to reach that standard, so maybe just a little bit.
And why football over boxing?
I've always been into football, like from a young age, like primary school, high school. I've always been into football, so yeah, it's always been #1 for me.
Tell us about his journey. Obviously, you knew from experience that it's important to get kids into sport at an early age if they want to do it as a career. You didn't maybe get that opportunity. I'm not sure. You can tell us if you started maybe later in life. And that's why you got Junior into sport very early.
Yeah, I mean, Junior, well, he grew up in sport. He was born into that field. I remember in 2000, he was about, 4 or 5 years by then. And we took him with it when I won the WBC World Champion, you know. And the next best thing in the morning when we came back from having the belt and the victory, he kept on saying, Dinga Ntobela Junior, you know. So, you know, it was exciting to have him there. So it's in his blood, you know, where, you know, he has to go into sports and, you know, sometimes you have to do and better your life in sports rather than in having to be academically inclined. You know?
You wish the boys competing right now at the moment, Lake Salts, and of course the others over the weekend, a very, very good luck. And we'll chat about that amazing win on Monday when we're back. That means from me and the team, we'll see you on Monday. Be safe this weekend. Bye-bye.